Hey guys, welcome back to Super Top 10s. Today we'll talk about the best restaurants around the world. Let's head into it. Number 10, the Ledbury in London, England. Cost of a meal for two, without wine, is $270. Among the top 10 restaurants, the Ledbury is probably the most classical, which is to say that its chef, Australian-born Brett Graham, is more interested in pleasure than wizardry. The dishes served in this London restaurant may not be as visually striking as in other places, but their flavors are deep and layered. Case in point, a buffalo milk curd spread creamily onto crisp toasts that are topped with Librico ham and served with rich onion broth, or grilled mackerel. Its oily brine mellowed with cured avocado and brightened with shiso, and with a chef who hunts his own wild birds. This is the place in London to try game. Number 9, Noma in Copenhagen, Denmark. Cost of a meal for two, without wine, is $600. After losing the top ranking in 2013, it had held its number one spot for the 3 previous years. Noma is firing on all cylinders these days. Located in an old whaling warehouse, the restaurant is the birthplace of New Nordic cuisine, which relies solely on ingredients available in region. But today, the restaurant is pushing far beyond its early days of forage-to-sea buckthorn and reindeer lichen. Dinner these days might start with a whole kohlrabi, filled with its fermented juice and bored with a straw, so that it looks and tastes like a coconut drink. The meal might then proceed through ebiskua, a traditional Danish kind of fritter, brushed with a sauce made from fermented grasshopper, and end with a dessert of potato, almond, and plum puree. It may sound wacky, but somehow Redzepi and his crew managed to make it all delicious, as well as deeply pleasurable. Noma continues to offer what may well be the most engaged and engaging service in the world. Number 8. Cellar de Can Roca, Girona, Spain. Cost of a meal for two, without wine, is $390 to $480. Cellar de Can Roca is run by 3 brothers, head chef John, sommelier Josep, and pastry chef Jordi, who came by their trade honestly. They learned it from their parents, but it's hard to imagine anything further from your average mom-and-pop cooking. In what may very well be the most beautiful dining room in Europe, a Roca meal dazzles with its wizardry. A starter called Eat the World that encapsulates, in 5 distinct bites, the tastes of 5 different cuisines. A dessert called Messi's Goal that recreates, with a candled pitch, flying white chocolate balls and a plate-side iPod playing the roars of the crowd. What it feels like when Barcelona's soccer hero Lionel Messi scores. While remaining firmly rooted in the flavors of the Mediterranean, Josep brings lucky guests on a tour of his cellar, where favorite wines have been singled out for multi-sensory treatments. Number 7. Osteria Francescana in Modena, Italy. Cost of a meal for two, without wine, is $360 to $525. Behind a stately exterior, the world's most emotive chef, Massimo Bottura, cooks flights of fantasy and memory. The first sign that this is not your ordinary upscale Italian restaurant comes from the abstract contemporary paintings on the wall, but the art continues on the plate. The mortadella sandwich of every Italian child's memory is turned into an impossibly light mousse. A Magnum ice cream bar becomes a sophisticated foie gras stuffed bite, and like his spectacular lacquered eel, which Bottura serves with saba and polenta to represent the apples and corn the eel would encounter on its way up the nearby Po River, his dishes are made more evocative by the stories that accompany them. Number 6. 11 Madison Park, New York, USA. Cost of a meal for two, without wine, $450. In this hushed yet theatrical dining room, Swiss-born chef Daniel Hum takes the whole farm-to-table movement, imbues it with a bit of French savoir-faire, and, like an alchemist, comes out with a quintessential New York restaurant. Indeed, the sense of place here comes not just from the locally grown and produced ingredients, but from Hum's knowing nod to New York's culinary culture. Pristine carrots, for example, get turned into a lightly whimsical take on steak tartare. Sturgeon, brought to the table under a smoke-filled cloche, is served with the restaurant's take on an everything bagel. Excellent service, grateful, attentive, and modern, adds to the sense of supreme well-being. Number 5. Dinner, London, England. Cost of a meal for two, without wine, $230. Heston Blumenthal took his fascination with English culinary history and turned it into something unexpectedly interesting for the rest of us. At the fashionable dinner, located at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in London and overseen by chef Ashley Palmer Watts, traditional, if not quirkily named, dishes like salamagundi and meat fruit are transformed into modern-day marvels, the latter into a light but rich chicken liver parfait, made up to look exactly like a mandarin orange. Is it indeed the UK's best restaurant? Probably not. But as history lessons go, this one goes down extremely easily. Number 4. Mugaritz, Arenteria, Spain. Cost of a meal for 2, without wine, $470. Antony Louis Arduriz is the Aristotle of contemporary cuisine, a philosopher king tucked away in the rolling hills of the Basque country, about a 20-minute drive from San Sebastian. Cerebral, technically accomplished dishes, like the Bloody Mary tomato, which looks and feels like a fresh tomato, but tastes of a cocktail, or his famous potato stones, whose river rock appearance gives the diner the uncomfortable sensation of being about to break their teeth. He manages to constantly surprise and delight his customers, all while maintaining a deep, almost pantheistic reverence for the nature around him. Number 3. DOM, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Cost of meal for 2, without wine, $400. Given the media's predilection for depicting chef Alex Atala standing thigh-deep in the much-loved Amazon, bare-chested and draped with a giant fish like some kind of latter-day Tarzan, it comes as something of a surprise that his restaurant is so refined. But the delicacy of signature dishes, like a pappardelle made from the hearts of palm, or a ceviche crafted of indigenous flavors, belies the wallop of their unusual flavors, and has helped Brazilians discover the bounty of their native territory. Even the Amazonian ants he serves, redolent of lemongrass, and placed gently atop a cube of pineapple, seem elegant. Number 2. Arza, San Sebastian, Spain. Cost of a meal for 2, without wine, $530. Juan Marie Arzac is one of the great geniuses of Spanish gastronomy, along with the first to bring modern techniques and flavors to bear on regional cuisine. In his case, that of his native Basque country. The kitchen of his restaurant, which is housed in a quaint-looking building, but is surprisingly sleek inside, is now run largely by his daughter Elena. She continues the Basque-infected innovation with dishes like waves, they're created with molds, or local spider crab and anise or monkfish cooked in a balloon of edible green papier-mâché that manage to feel both regionally grounded and whimsical. Number 1. Alinea, Chicago, Illinois. Cost of a meal for 2, without wine, $420. Grant Achatz did a brief stint at Ferran Adria's El Bulli, and ever since has been avant-garde, what was once the most avant-garde restaurant in the world. The 18 or so course tasting menu carries title like scallop acting like agadashi tofu, and the tableware, some of it lovely, some of it looking like it was lifted from a spike and pincer collection of the Spanish Inquisition, is tailor-made for each cuisine. Dinner in this Chicago restaurant consists of carefully scripted experiences, more than dishes. One course requires the diner to fold her own ravioli from a sheet of tomato pasta that, moments before, looked to be a decorative flag, while the final dessert, a mix of dark chocolate and about 100 other things, is painted, drizzled, and scattered by a chef directly at the table itself. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen, because I am sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.